is highly appreciated. Thank you. It is my pleasure and privilege in introducing our Madam President, Toastmaster Vijita Murli. She is a happy homemaker, a champion TV speaker, and she is also a club mentor. The Toastmasters and my dear friends, please help me welcome this caring and inspiring leader to preside over today's meeting.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jyoti, for those nice words. Thank you so much once again. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to meeting number 47 of Mind Academy Toastmasters Club. As always, let's welcome all our guests. I can see a lot of guests who have joined us today. I ask all of our members to please introduce your guests.
Madam President, good evening. We have with us Mr. Ranjit, who is joining all the way from Kerala. And we also have two youth leaders, youth leader Faraz and youth leader Farsin, who has joined. And we also have our sponsor DTM Biju CR with us. So let me take this opportunity to welcome them all to this meeting.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining Mind Academy's 47th meeting. We welcome you all with a warm heart. Yes, I can see Toastmaster Sai raise his hand. You have something to add, Toastmaster Sai?
Yeah, good evening all. It's by mistake. Yeah.
Yeah?
It's by mistake.
Oh, okay. Fine. No problem. Thank you so much. We also have our guest evaluator, Toastmaster Nilofer Rashid, who has joined us today. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for joining us today and helping us out as an evaluator. It's a pleasure having you with us today.
Good evening all.
Thank you, ma'am. Any more guests? I think a few more guests are about to join in the course of the meeting. We'll be welcoming them as and when they join. So let's begin the meeting, number 47. We all witnessed something phenomenal last weekend, I must say. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It was absolutely a phenomenal experience for everyone who was present, and especially for Mind Academy, because we had our champions represent our division at the district level. We had Toastmaster Bala. He was representing the division at the evaluation contest. He made it to the finals as well, and he gave a good fight, I must say. The competition was very tough, and I'm sure that the judges would have had a tough time deciding the winners during the STAC finals. Similarly, we had our Toastmaster Murli Rao. He made it to the finals as well in the international speech category. It was indeed a moment of pride for all of us to see our champions, to share stage with the best of the best in Saudi Arabia. We also had our Gaviliers steal the show with their performances. We had Gavilier Stuti Deshmukh, we had Gavilier Gisha Sridhar and Gavilier Divya Sridhar, who are all part of our Mind Academy family. They were all there, and it was indeed a moment of pride for all of us to watch them perform. We had our Toastmaster Muhammad Irshad perform the role of a contest master in one of the semi-finals. We had myself, I had the good fortune of leading the technology committee during the STAC. And it was indeed a moment of pride for all of us at Mind Academy, I must say. And those who joined the STAC for all the 3 days, you would have noticed that it's a wonderful experience, when you explore your boundaries, not only in the speaking or communication line, but also the leadership line. And it's absolutely something new that you learn each time you sign yourself up for roles, leadership roles, or maybe speech contests. What you're doing when you're signing up for those roles is you're giving yourself the opportunity to grow as a person, as a communicator, and as a leader. So I want to urge all of you members, please take up challenges, take up challenging roles. Even when you feel that you may not be able to do it, give it a try, I would say. It will look a little challenging initially. It may look like it is not going to be done. But believe me, once you take up the challenge, you will push yourself out of that boundary of your comfort zone. And that's when the real growth happens. So here's wishing all of you wonderful opportunities like this to come in the future. And I hope that you'll utilize each and every opportunity you get your way. to become a better person. With that, let me now introduce you. Let me invite my club secretary. I totally forgot about the minutes of the previous meeting. I'm so sorry. We have with us our club secretary, and I request her to read out the minutes of our previous meeting. Toastmaster Gauri Varia, it's over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. And no worries, I've been absent for a while. So forgetting me is not an aspect I will criticize you for. But here is the minutes of the meeting number 46 of Mind Academy Toastmasters Club, conducted on the Zoom virtual platform on 9th May 2022. The Sergeant at Arms, Madam Toastmaster Mudra, started the meeting promptly at 6:15 p.m. Our presiding officer of the day, Madam Toastmaster Vijita Murli, welcomed all the members and guests to the exciting evening ahead. Toastmaster Balasubramaniam read out the minutes of the meeting number 45 on behalf of the secretary, yours truly, for the evening. Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Meera Nambiar, introduced the theme of the day as First Things First. Grammarian and Wordmaster, Madam Toastmaster Mudra, introduced the word of the day as preeminent. Timer for the evening was Madam Toastmaster Shahida, and word counter was Toastmaster Chanchal. There were 4 speakers for the evening. Toastmaster Muhammad Irshad, attempting his level 4, project 2, importance of planning. He was evaluated by DTM Biju CR. Toastmaster Beena Modi, attempting her level 1, project 2, strive for excellence, evaluated by DTM Kotishwaran sir. Toastmaster Smita Krishnaswamy, attempting her level 1, project 1, icebreaker, smile is the beauty of the soul, evaluated by Madam Toastmaster Dr. Manjula Sridhar. And Toastmaster Balasubramaniam, attempting his level 4, project 2, money makes many things, evaluated by DTM Manoj C. Nair. The TT session was conducted by Toastmaster Rameshan Nambiar, our TT master for the evening, and had 4 speakers who were evaluated by DTM Murli Krishnan. Toastmaster Smita Krishnaswamy, who attempted the topic, art takes many forms ranging from poetry and dance to painting and sculpture. What artistic form do you most enjoy? Toastmaster Mehul Chauhan, who attempted the topic, there are no insoluble problems, only time-consuming ones. Your comment. Toastmaster Murli Rao, who attempted the topic, it's not what you like, but what you are like. That's important. Comment. And Toastmaster Beena Modi, who attempted the topic, what's a powerful memory that you have from your childhood? Why is it important to you? The evaluation session was held by General Evaluator, Madam Toastmaster Vijita Murli, with her team of distinguished evaluators who gave constructive and complimentary feedback to the speakers according to the guidelines set by Toastmasters International. The Grammarian and Wordmaster, Madam Toastmaster Mudra, gave her report diligently. The winners were announced by Toastmaster Chanchal Pandey as follows. Best Speaker, Toastmaster Smita Krishnaswamy. Best Evaluator, Madam Toastmaster Dr. Manjula Sridhar. And Best TT Speaker, Toastmaster Murli Rao. The TMOD, Toastmaster Meera Nambiar, signed off at 8:16 p.m. and handed over the reins to Madam Toastmaster Vijita, our presiding officer for the evening. In the business session, Madam Toastmaster Vijita made her closing remarks with the following comments. Our guest evaluators, Toastmaster Manjula Sridhar, DTM Biju CR, and DTM Manoj C. Nair, were presented with certificates of appreciation for taking time out of their busy schedules and joining us to give their valuable inputs as evaluators. Area 53 Director, Toastmaster Arul Shankar, was invited to share a few words on his experience for his official visit to Mind Academy Toastmasters Club. He spoke on the importance of his visit and explained in great detail his purpose and his observations. The announcement of selection of Toastmaster Vijita Murli as the Area 53 Director for the upcoming program year was also made. Congratulations, ma'am, from my side. Toastmaster Bala and Toastmaster Murli Rao were also wished the best for the journey ahead to the ZAC finals for evaluation and international speech contest, respectively. DT Murli Krishnan announced that Cavalier Gisha, Cavalier Suti, and Cavalier Divya will also be participating in ZAC. Toastmaster Vijita urged everyone to register for the same. The meeting was adjourned at 8:31 p.m. That's all from me for the minutes of the meeting number 46 of Mind Academy Toastmasters Club. Over to you, Madam President.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Gauri Varia. Are there any additions or corrections to the read out minutes? Hearing none, I declare this as a true record of our meeting number 46. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Gauri Varia. It takes, a lot of effort because she was not present during that meeting, but she took time to go through the live stream that we had on YouTube, and she wrote down the minutes. That's what's called dedication. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Gaudi Varia, for that. Now, moving ahead, we have a lot of things lined up for today. We have four wonderful, marvelous speakers who are going to present their projects and who are going to be evaluated by veteran Toastmasters who will get them to know the qualities they already possess and the qualities they need to possess. So I'm looking forward to an excellent meeting ahead. Without wasting much of your time, let me now introduce you to the Toastmaster of the day, who will be taking us through the educational session today. We have with us a dedicated teacher. She has been an instrumental person in a lot of charitable organizations as well as social organizations here in Jubail, Saudi Arabia. And she's a prolific speaker, a wonderful leader, and a person with a golden heart. Let me invite Toastmaster Shaida Shanawaz. She is one of our new members, and it's indeed our good fortune that we have members like her join our club who add value to the club. So thank you so much, ma'am. It is indeed our pleasure to have you as the Toastmaster of the day today. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Madam President, for those wonderful introduction. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, a warm good evening to all of you. As our Madam President told, take up the challenges. So challenges are what we make the life more interesting, and overcoming them is what makes them meaningful. Our theme of the day is turn your obstacles into opportunities. How can you turn obstacles to opportunities? Let's begin with a short and simple story. Shall I? Okay. Once there lived a king who wanted to test his citizens. So he asked his men to place a huge rock in the middle of the road. Many people, including some of the wealthiest merchants and courtiers from his palace, crossed the road, but no one made any effort or any attempt to move the rock. They just simply moved around it and went their way. Many of them even blamed the king for not keeping the road clear, but no one made any effort to solve the problem. One day, a peasant carrying a load of vegetables came across the rock. He tried to push the rock. After a lot of effort, he was successful in moving the rock to the side of the road. When he was about to leave, he saw a pouch and a letter where the rock had been. So the pouch contained a lot of gold coins, and the letter read that all those gold coins was there for the person who managed to remove the rock. So just like the rock unveiled the gold coins that turned the peasant's life around, every obstacle unveils an opportunity. Do you all agree or not? Yes. You should always try to see every obstacle that the life puts in your way as an opportunity. Is there traffic on your way to work? Or do you feel cooking so boring? Often I do feel so. So I think it sounds like a great time to listen to an audiobook and learn something new. Or do you feel that, okay, you lost your job? That's not the end of anything. It's not the end of our life. Take it as an opportunity to start the business or something new, which you have always wanted to start. Or are you arguing with your wife? Of course, the win will be who will win the battle, we know. But even then, take it as another opportunity to practice your patience and self-control, of course. So whatever happens, all these things will inevitably happen that you don't want to happen. But focusing on these negative aspects of all these things, which won't move you forward, instead of that one, you must see all these obstacles as your opportunities to succeed in your life. We must use all these as fuel for our fire. When you see something challenging blocking your path, you just jump at that obstacle to take action. You know that moving through that obstacle is how you will grow and improve your condition. That is the lesson that the king tried to teach the people of his city. Those who gave up on the obstacle blocking their path went home with nothing. But the peasant man who took action towards the obstacle was rewarded. So let us take obstacles as the positive signals of opportunity for growth and success, as they show you the path down which you must go. With this mindset, let's move forward. To conduct today's meeting successfully, we have a lineup of dedicated and diligent team members. Let me introduce each one of the assignees. First and foremost, our grammarian and word master of the day. It is none other than Toastmaster Meera Nambia, a grandmother seeing the world and a mother who loves to fawn over her brood. In other times, she has been a teacher and a corporate employee too, who always on the lookout for opportunities to learn. Toastmaster Meera Nambia, can you please specify your role as grammarian and the word master, please? Toastmaster Meera.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all the speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of any misuse of the English language too, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. For today's meeting, the word of the day is impediment. Zoom Master, if you could kindly share the screen. If I can share the screen, Zoom Master.
Yes, I'll make you the co-host. Yes, you can share the screen now.
Okay. Is my scene visible? Screen?
Pleasure and privilege in introducing our Madam President,
Yes,
Toastmaster,
ma'am.
Sorry?
homemaker,
Is it-
a champion TV speaker.
I think,
and
Chichi,
also
your
the
desktop is the YouTube running.
Toastmasters and my dear friends,
The live.
please help me welcome the steering and inspiring.
This problem?
Somebody's YouTube live is running.
Thank you so
Actually.
much.
Somebody's YouTube is running, yeah. If they can mute, please. Yeah, thank you. So today's word of the day is impediment. It's a noun, which the definition is that something that makes movement, progress, or development difficult. Impairment, such as a stutter or a lisp that interferes with the proper articulation of speech. It could be a bar of or hindrance, such as lack of sufficient age to a lawful marriage. The synonyms of impediment are obstacle, hindrance, hurdle, handicap, or inhibition. Antonyms are help and encouragement. I can give you some examples for this word. Let us lay aside the impediments and distractions that so easily entangle us. Another one, the rain was no impediment to the serious business of shopping. Each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day. I will give a word of the day report and grammatical usage report when called upon to do so. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Meera Nambia. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Our general evaluator today is Toastmaster Gauri Vaidya. I'll introduce her in detail during the start of evaluation session. However, Toastmaster Gauri, can you please explain your role as the general evaluator today?
Good evening,
Over to you.
everyone. Thank you, ma'am. My role as general evaluator encompasses leading a constructive evaluation session with a set of wonderful Toastmasters after the prepared speech and TT session, after which I will be presenting a report on my final thoughts on the progress of this meeting till that point. Until then, everybody enjoy this meeting, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gauri. Our timer today is Toastmaster Sai Nanda Kishore. He is an instrumentation engineering graduate and he is working as an analyzer engineer in Kenya. He loves to watch comedy programs and he is passionate about improving his knowledge and practice in investment plans. Toastmaster Sai Kishore, can you please explain your role as timer?
Thank you very much. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, and my dear guests. As a timer, I will time the prepared speech of Toastmaster Jyoti Warrior. Total time for her is 18 to 22 minutes. I will show green card at 18 minutes, yellow at 20 minutes, and red at 22 minutes. Grace period is 30 seconds. For the other three speeches, the time allotted is 5 to 7 minutes with a grace period of 30 seconds. I will change my background color to green at the minimum qualifying time, yellow at intermediate, and red at maximum qualifying time. For the evaluation speeches, the time limit is 2 to 3 minutes with a grace period of 30 seconds on either side. At 2 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 2 minutes 30 seconds, I will raise yellow card, and at 3 minutes, I will raise the red card. I will note down the time taken by all the speakers and present my report at the end of each session when called upon to do so. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sai Kishore. Our vote counter today is Toastmaster Jyoti Bala. She is a chemical engineering graduate who worked as an automation engineer, and she is a fitness freak, yoga practitioner, and a shadow to her husband. Her favorite time pass is shopping at 5 Real shop. She loves traveling, meeting new people, and she wishes to visit every continent in her lifetime. She is also a famous YouTuber and a loving mother of 2 little kids. Toastmaster Jyoti Bala, can you please explain your role as vote counter?
Today, my role as vote counter is to conduct the polls at the end of each session and declare the results when called upon to do so. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jyoti Bala. Now, let us start our edutainment session. Fasten your seatbelts and get ready for takeoff. Speakers and evaluators, are you all ready? Okay, today's session is divided into 2 stages: prepared speech session and evaluation session. Let us start our prepared speech session. Our first speaker is Toastmaster Ramesh Nambiar. He is delivering his level 4 project 1 speech. And Toastmaster Nilofer Rashid is his evaluator. Madam Toastmaster Nilofer, can you please acknowledge your presence and explain the speech objectives? Over to Madam Toastmaster Nilofer Rashid.
Thank you so much for giving me a chance. Good evening to one and all present here. Today, I'm just going to evaluate Toastmaster Ramesh Nambiar Level 4 Project 1. The purpose of the speech is for the member to practice developing a change management plan. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspects of a change management plan. So all the best, Toastmaster Ramesh Nambiar.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster Nilofer Rashid. Toastmaster Ramesh Nambiar, hailing from Kannur, Kerala, has a whopping 6 years of experience in the chemical, agrochemical, and plastic industry. The last 21 years have been in Saudi Arabia with Gulf Stabilizers Industries Limited, where he is currently working as the technical and quality manager. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Ramesh Nambiar. Title of his speech is Manage a Change. Manage a Change by Toastmaster Ramesh Nambiar. Over to you, Toastmaster Ramesh Nambiar.
Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes, you are.
In order to stay ahead of new technological and economic developments, organizations need to embrace change. According to a recent market research report, an average business organization in the US and Europe has undertaken 5 major organizational changes in the past 3 years. A further 75% of those companies expect to pursue additional change initiatives in the coming 3 years. Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters, and my dear guests, a warm good evening to all of you. Organizational change is typically pursued because it is believed that the transition will enable a business to operate at a higher level, becoming more efficient, productive, innovative, and profitable. If the change is managed incorrectly, it can become a double-edged sword, leading to a loss of productivity and poor performance from employees. Therefore, the change leaders must understand their role in managing a change judiciously. Organizational changes are typically categorized into 2 types: adaptive and transformational change. Adaptive changes are small incremental modifications that an organization undertakes to evolve over time. Transformational changes, on the other hand, are larger in scope and scale and typically involve a radical shift in direction for the business. These changes are often the result of outside forces putting pressure on the company, such as an emergence of new competitor or emergence of a new regulation, etc. I would share one of my experiences in leading a transformational change in my current organization. It was in early 2004. I was attending an international conference on polyolefins. The conference was attended by most of the major polyolefin manufacturers around the world. And that was an opportunity to interact with experts in the field, since it was the first international conference that I attended after the full-fledged operation of my plant in the year 2002. However, the 4th day of the conference was a nightmare for me because one of the presenters highlighted a possible restriction of one of the elements, tin, in plastics, which would have an adverse effect to our newly started product. It was informed that US Food and Drugs Administration has made a recommendation to restrict the use of tin-based chemicals in plastics due to adverse health issues in human beings. Further discussion with regulatory experts also confirmed that the FDA regulations are going to be applicable from 2008 in the US. A tin-based catalyst was used for producing one of our products, and it was under stay due to this change. It was a major takeaway for me for attending the conference, and it provides a complete understanding of the requirements. After returning to office, the requirements were discussed with other members of the management, and it was agreed to make the required changes in the process. As the change leader, I defined the change and specified the vision as tin-free project that has to follow the change management process. This was the first and foremost step for managing a change, to define the process. Since the change was demanding a significant amount of financial investment, it was necessary to get the approval from the investors. The driving forces of the change was clearly defined, and a business case was prepared and submitted to the board of directors, which was eventually approved. This was the second step. The force of change was defined. In our case, it was the external force, a regulatory board. By understanding the precipitating factors that have made the change necessary, we were better positioned to address the concerns. The next step was to create a plan. The outline of the change process was defined. The scope and all the stakeholders were identified. I had to set up 3 different teams. One process chemistry team to identify the best process, engineering team to make the necessary modifications in the plant, and project team to implement the changes in the plant in 18 months. In the event of significant change, a clear and focused communication is essential. Each of the teams and other members were explained about their roles to attain the goal of the change. The 3 teams were from 3 different locations, but it was well coordinated with regular calls and meetings. This helped us to complete the project within 18 months. All the operational people were trained for the new process in the following 2 months to make the plant operational. Everything may not be always going according to the plan, no matter how thoroughly you prepare for the change. We should always anticipate the roadblocks, and this is the 5th step to consider. In order to overcome the impediments, a detailed risk analysis was carried out, and measures to mitigate the risk were suggested with a well-defined checklist and procedure. Finally, we could offer the first tin-free product to our customers 18 months prior to the deadline specified by the US FDA. We got a clear advantage in the market because of the quick response to the call of industry requirements. Nobody is born with expertise in managing an organizational change. It is a skill that typically takes years of hands-on experience to build. With this in mind, we can successfully manage any type of change by aligning the change goal to company's goal. As Peter Gallagher rightly said, nothing remains the same, and at some point in time, everything changes. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ramesh sir. As you said, change is inevitable, but growth is optional. We should manage the change in a positive way. So thank you again for that amazing delivery. Now we will move on to the second speaker today. Our next speaker is Toastmaster Jyoti Warrier, and she is delivering her level 5 project 1 speech, and it is going to be evaluated by DTM Murali Krishnan sir. DTM Murali Krishnan, if you could kindly read out the objectives of Toastmaster Jyoti Warrior's speech.
Toastmaster Day, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, good evening. Speaker is attempting project 1 of level 5, prepare to speak professionally. Purpose of this project is for the member to practice developing and presenting a longer speech. Time allotted is 18 to 22 minutes. I wish all the very best to Toastmaster Jyoti Warrior. Back to you, Toastmaster Day.
Thank you, DTM Murali Krishnan. Toastmaster Jyoti Warrior, basically a teacher and a dedicated palliative care volunteer from Kerala, holding a fellowship in the field quality coach in palliative care projects in India. She had presented many papers at PC conferences and co-authored articles on quality projects in Indian and international journals. She loves to travel, and of course, Himalayas is her favorite destination. She is the International Speech Contest champion in 2021. Please help me to welcome Toastmaster Jyoti Warrier. Title of her speech is Preparing for the Inevitable. Why? Preparing for the Inevitable Why by Toastmaster Jyoti Warrier. Over to you.
Yeah, timer, just give me a second to share the screen. Am I visible, audible, and my screen also visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. A few decades ago, imagine when we or people haven't heard about life insurance policies, were approached by a life insurance agent and discussed about life insurance policy. Like, sir, you have to pay premium amount every month. Then if you don't die, you get the amount back, the sum assured back. But if you die, your family members will get the sum assured and it will be some kind of security for them. It would have sounded absurd when this was first introduced, isn't it? But now, is there anyone in the audience who doesn't have a life insurance policy on him or on her? Even when we travel, when we do anything in our life, we get ourselves insured against some kind of emergencies. Toastmaster of the day, distinguished guests, my dear fellow Toastmasters, good evening. Before I begin, I would like you to give me an answer for this in the chat box. What is sure to happen once you take birth? That is, what is inevitable in your life once you're born in this world?
You die.
You get a degree. If you could just note it down in the chat box if it is open. You get a degree, you get married, you die, you get job, you travel to amazing destinations. So I think now everybody agrees that that which is inevitable is you die. So based on that, I hope I can take this discussion forward or this speech forward. I know it is not a very pleasant thing to hear about, but then it is inevitable. You yourself said that. So how about preparing or planning for this? For a degree? I hope you all remember the days when you were planning for a degree, to get a degree, preparing for the exams. Those who got married, how about planning for the marriage? How you prepared yourself? A job, preparing for a job, you were well prepared. Traveling to amazing destinations, forget about amazing destinations. Going to school tomorrow, I saw a small kid there, or going to work tomorrow. We make a lot of planning and preparations. But what about when you are talking about or thinking about your own death? Have you made any plans? If no, the screen. Is it necessary to make the plans? Is it necessary to make the plans? I think yes. Why? Why? Because it is your right. It is your basic human right for you to plan for your death or your end journey or the most important journey in your life, that is your death. So coming to that, let me give an introduction of who I am. I am a palliative care volunteer. And in palliative care, we a multidisciplinary team of doctors, nurses, volunteers, psychologists. We try to bring down the suffering of people in their life when they are suffering from a long-term illness or a terminal illness. So that is about life. We also try to bring about quality when it comes to dying or end of their life. So palliative care is about quality of life and quality of death. So there comes a term that we normally use, good death versus bad death. It sounded very absurd, weird to me when I initially heard about good death. And I asked my sir, how can death be good at any time? It is bad, it is always bad. But then he explained to me, or in my experience, I learned that there is good death and there is bad death. I would also like to bring two scenarios, and you will also be able to understand that what do we mean by good death or bad death. Scenario number one, Raju, a 14-year-old boy. He was suffering from cancer. All his curative treatments failed and he was dying. He was facing a lot of problems, mainly severe pain and then occasional breathing trouble, breathlessness. So he could his problems could not be managed at home, so he was admitted to a hospital and he was in an ICU, intensive care unit. Most of you know that in intensive care unit, there are many patients, so to maintain their health hygiene, people are not allowed inside. So Raju was inside the ICU and Raju's parents and sister, they were waiting outside the ICU. They were allowed to visit Raju, or Raju was allowed to see his family twice a day, morning and evening, a few minutes. As his condition worsened, they were given a bonus of one more meeting. That is, just before he went to bed in the night, the parents were allowed to meet Raju one more time. When it was his end of life, towards the last day, like when his condition worsened, the father was warned about it. So after his meeting, Raju, in the night, the father came out of the room. He pressed himself against the wall outside the ICU, where on the other side of the wall was his son, lying on the bed, breathing his last. In the night, Raju dies, and Raju's father, the only contact he had with him was that body pressed against the wall, on the other side of which Raju died. Scene number 2. Kannan. Kannan was 7 years old. Kannan was also a cancer patient whose curative treatment had failed and he was also dying. Kannan also had severe pain and occasional breathlessness. Kannan was discharged from hospital but could not be managed at home, so he was admitted to our palliative care unit inpatient ward. We don't have ICUs, we don't have ventilators, but we have rooms, we have cabins where the patient and the family can be together under medical supervision. So Kannan was being looked after by the doctor, nurses, and also he got the care of his father and mother and his dear brother. His condition worsened, and towards the last day, he made a wish that he wanted to ride in his father's auto rickshaw. His father owned an auto rickshaw to his home. It wasn't very far away, but it wasn't close also. So, but the doctors allowed him, let him travel. And I still remember the words of his father saying that he had not seen his son so happy when the breeze, it hit his face when he was traveling in the auto rickshaw. But as his condition was bad, immediately after reaching home, his pain started, and so the care team, including me, we all had to rush to his house and bring him back to our unit. The next day, Kannan also died. But Kannan had his mother next to him, hugging him, he holding the hand of his dear brother and father very close to him. I hope now you also must have realized the difference between good death and bad death. So why good death? Once again, it is our human right. Just like we have the right to live a dignified life, we also have the right to die a dignified death. Apart from being, it is something of violating a human right condition, think about the high expenditure the family has to bear. Okay, sometimes these high expenditures are justified. We do not argue that there are cases, there are conditions where a patient needs ICU, a patient needs ventilator, a patient needs high expenditure treatments. We are not talking about that category. We are talking about others. Now, who are these others? Others who have to undergo these suffering isolation, and also the family has to bear the high expenditure because conversation on death is difficult. So we completely avoid talking about it. And as a result, what happens? We hope for better outcomes which are not likely to happen. And a curative treatment which is futile, which is not being of any use, get extended. Also the cost of the treatments. We are talking about these conditions. Why the conversation is difficult? Because it is a taboo subject even in a very high income class countries. It is a taboo subject to talk about death. Even when I picked up this topic, my husband Jayan said, Jyoti, why do you want to talk about this such a serious subject? Okay, it is a serious subject, but as you all observed, it is something which is inevitable. So why not plan for that journey? Next is the family and the doctors. You all, if you all can relate to some incident that happened related to death in your family, you know that it is the family members, the doctors, the hospital who have this hushed talking meeting. You don't even include the patient sometimes. So the importance of the patient, the person, it is a person. It is very much less in our society or in our culture. It's not because somebody is cruel. It is not at all because somebody is cruel, but it is because you love your dear ones more. It is the emotions. Where the brain doesn't work, your heart is doing the work. And why is this? Because there is lack of awareness, not only among the public, but also healthcare professionals. Even they are going in the same flow. So even they are not aware, it is not in their education curriculum to have this kind of conversation, this kind of dialogue is important. So lack of awareness is one of the main reasons and why I am here in front of you to talk about it. And one more important reason is that there is no law in our country. So it's not legally binding. It's not legally binding that the patient should know about what is going on in his life and what is his plan, what is his desire. It's not legally binding. So that also plays a role in or a deciding factor when it comes to the interventions. So to give a support to my points, I would like to quote Lancet Commission here. Lancet Commission. Lancet commissions are commissions set up by experts from a few countries. They sit together and they discuss about outdated or problems that needs a change, such kind of issues in healthcare. So Lancet Commission, such a Lancet Commission was set up on the value of death. They presented their report in January 2022. My mentor in fellowship, Dr. Libby Salnos, was one of those experts. So This Lancet Commission is nothing that is binding on people. It is funded by a private organization. If you want, you can take it, or if you want, you can reject it. But still, it has got some authority in presenting the healthcare issues which is prevalent in the whole world. So some of the points that they observed was also something similar to what we found in the society. First thing is, even if it's a high income country or a low or middle income country, there is imbalance. Either people get too much of treatment. It doesn't mean that the person is rich. It is they have access to healthcare. Or there are countries like us where there is a huge majority which has no access at all. So in both cases, death becomes a torture. Then, if you again look back, people of my generation at least, if you remember your grandparents' day, when somebody was not well in the house or somebody was about to die, it is the people, the neighbors, the family, the traditions that was more important. Now, the community, the family, traditions, we just take them because we love them, we want more care for them, we take them to the hospitals, and everything is decided there. So these costly treatments again, which has no justification, which is not futile, which are futile, these treatments make families fall into poverty. This was observed all over the world. And why? The main reason is, we all together, you're educated, you're high income, you are a progressive nation, you completely avoid talking about death. There is no planning, no preparation. Even though many countries have started it, they are also still in the developing stage. And India, sorry to say, in the first survey of 40 big nations, India stood 40th. India ranked 40th. So we have to be more alert on this. So which is the main factor that we have to consider when we talk about our death? It is autonomy. What is autonomy? Autonomy is a right to choose, refuse, or regulate one's own medical treatment. I told you about the right. I have the right to choose which treatment I should take. If I don't want a particular treatment, I have the right to refuse it. And I can regulate the medical treatment that I need. So this is autonomy. And this is one of the most important rights and one of the most important medical ethical terms. So here, again, as I said, there is no legal framework. So, but there was a very important judgment, which is a breakthrough judgment made in India by the Supreme Court of India in 2018. 2018 March, Supreme Court of India made a judgment where it was observed that Constitution of India, we had something mentioned about our right for autonomy in Article 21, which talked about right to life and personal liberty. Right to life, my life and my personal liberty. Article 21 of the Constitution of India mentions about this right of autonomy. So it is there. It's only for us to redefine and fine-tune. So this was observed, or this was mentioned in one of the very important judgments in 2018, and this judgment was about passive euthanasia. I hope you all must have heard about euthanasia, which is mercy killing. So this judgment is not accepted as such. It has a lot of controversial terms used in it. I will not be coming to it, but it is a beginning. It is the first step in India towards giving the right of autonomy to its citizens. And the medical fraternity have started to realize that an uninformed patient, I know cases, several cases where the patient dies without even knowing the diagnosis because the family decides so. That's called collusion. where the family feels that no, you don't have to, the doctor, they come immediately. We have, even in our file, it is there. The patient doesn't know about the diagnosis. So even by mistake, we should not take the term cancer to the patient. But that is a big loss to the patient sometimes. By telling them, it doesn't mean that bluntly you go tell the patient that, hey, you have a disease where you're going to die. That is not the way. There is a big chapter called Breaking the Bad News for the doctors. Why don't we let them use it? It is only up to which point the patient wants to know, the doctors can communicate. Let them do it. What if the patient wants something? I would like to share one more story where she was pregnant, and all along her pregnancy, she had a tumor growing in the stomach. She was just 25, but she was a lab technician. After delivery, she was diagnosed with cancer, and it was too late to do anything else. So the family, who were devastated, we couldn't see to stand the pain. There was a small baby, a young mother, a husband working in the Gulf who doesn't know anything about this. Only thing that his wife is not well. The husband's family was more worried about the father, the boy, and the little child. So they separated the child also from the mother. She wasn't told anything about that she's going to die. Her husband, she didn't see her husband. Because they didn't want her to hear the term palliative care, she was admitted in a hospital, oncology ward, ICU. I don't know how that made sense. But we couldn't say a word because the family was devastated. This girl, in 5 months, she dies in an ICU. Her child is in her husband's house. Her husband is in Dubai. And what? The 5 remaining months we could have given her. But we didn't. So here, autonomy is a very important factor. The biggest challenge that autonomy faces is, in case of neurological patients like Parkinsonism or dementia, rational and reasonable persons only can take a decision about their own state, knowing about their situations. So this is a big challenge, one of the biggest challenges posed by autonomy. Is the patient capable of taking a rational and a reasonable decision about himself or herself? Then external influence, like anything that happens in the world, everything is abused. What about people misusing this law and ending up killing people? So these two challenges are there, but we have gone, at least taken one step ahead by this Supreme Court judgment of 2018, Common Cause versus Union of India. I had it in my slide, but I couldn't present it. It's called Common Cause versus Union of India, which is to be fine-tuned. There is already discussion going on in this. The most important is that KMC Manipal, AIIMS New Delhi, and Indian Council of Medical Research, ICMR, have initiated some guidelines to healthcare professionals. That is very important to start with. And there is Elicit End of Life Care India Task Force and Vidhi Center for Legal Policy drafting a model living will. So there is a step taken already from the legal side. It's just for us to follow, because your last days are just as important as your entire life journey. Let's make the world a better place to live and a better place to die. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jyoti Vaidya, for that amazing delivery. Now we will move on to the third speaker today. Our next speaker is Toastmaster Vijitha Murali. She is delivering her Level 5 Project 1 second speech and will be evaluated by TTM Biju Sia. TTM Biju, can you please acknowledge your presence and kindly read out the objectives of the speech of Toastmaster Vijitha Murali.
Good evening, Toastmaster of the Day, fellow members of my Academy Toastmasters Club, their cavaliers and guests. Warm good evening to all once again. Toastmaster Vijitha Murali attempting her speech from Leadership Manual Motivational Strategies, Level 5 Project 1. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice the skill needed to build a cohesive team and host the event. Second purpose is for the member to introduce the team building event she plans to host. Title of the speech: People, Purpose and Passion and time allotted is 2 to 3 minutes. Over to you, Toastmaster today.
Thank you, DTM Biju. Toastmaster Vijitha Murali, our club president and mentor, whose sincere and astute leadership has taken Mind Academy to the pinnacle of success. She is a passionate Toastmaster who loves to complete her tasks with perfection. Her stories have always inspired others in the team to move ahead in their communication journey. So please help me welcome Toastmaster Vijitha Murali. Title of her speech is People, Purpose and Passion. People, Purpose and Passion by Toastmaster Vijitha Murali. Over to you, ma'am.
Am I audible? Am I visible? Once again, let me choose it. Am I
Yes,
visible and audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And one little correction to what our evaluator mentioned. I'm attempting the second speech, sir, which is 5 to 7 minutes. That is after the team building exercise. That's the speech I'm attempting today. I hope DTM Biju will take note of it. The evaluation form has two forms, one for speech 1 and speech 2. I'm attending the second speech, sir. Okay. Timer can start now. They say people with great purpose and passion can make the impossible happen. That's what happened a few days back during SATAC 2022. Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, warm good evening to all of you. Indeed, people, purpose, passion. That was the tagline of SATAC 2022 this year. And how am I related to it? You must be wondering. It all started with a phone call that I received way back in January when I was enjoying myself in the vacation in India, back in India. I got a call from Toastmaster Albin Joseph, who is the SATAC 2022 chairperson. He asked me, Toastmaster Vijitha Murali, would you be interested to take up the role of Vice Chair of Technology? As I had just completed my role as the Vice Chair of Divisional Conference, I was very confident. And I thought it's a matter of pride to be part of something like SATAC, which is a phenomenal program, which all of us look forward to every year. It's an annual event. It is a conference which sees the best of the best from all over District 79. And I was proud to be part of it. I said yes without even thinking twice. That's how it began. After a few days, I was back in Saudi and I was contacted again by Toastmaster Albin Joseph, and he told me that you will be leading the technology team. I was a little surprised, a little shaken up and puzzled as well. I asked him, who is the chairman of the technology committee? That's when he broke the news to me that there are no chairpersons for the technology team. You will be the one who will be taking lead. And that struck me like a bolt. For a moment, I even doubted myself. I thought, have I bitten more than I can chew? It was a little too much for a housewife, simple housewife like me, an introverted person who finds it difficult to approach people for the first time. But then, it was my mentor and husband, DTM Murali Krishnan, who gave me the comfort and the support that you can do it. Just go for it. It's a challenge that you have to take, and you will become a better leader at the end of it. So I went ahead. I took the challenge. As the vice chair of technology, I had to build my team. And to be fair enough, I contacted all the 13 divisions that there are in District 79. And I approached all the division directors to nominate people to the technology team. I just wanted to be free and fair, you know. I wanted every division to be represented in the technology team. And I got feedback from some didn't respond as usual. Human beings, you know, many respond differently to a request that when a person puts it to you. I built a team with 2 directors on the top. That was Toastmaster Shankar and Toastmaster Rohit, who are well known as Zoom masters and throughout the fraternity here in District 79. They were my directors in the team. And again, I was also fortunate enough to have advisors, like experienced advisors like DTM Koteswaran sir, DTM Mohan sir, DTM Farheen sir, and also Toastmasters Jayant Achamara, who is an IT professional. And all these people were my pillars. They were my advisors who gave me sound advice on how to go about my role as the vice chair of technology. Then we started getting our team together, and to build the team bonding, we used to have a lot of dry runs and sessions where we got to know each other, and it was an interesting blend. You know, we had people from all walks of life. We had housewives, we had teachers, we had professionals, we had IT professionals, bank officials, and it was fun. People from all sorts of places or from all nationalities. We had people from Philippines, we had people belonging to Saudi, we had Indians, of course, and Sri Lankan, and it was fun. To build a team, a cohesive team, the team leader has to take charge. As a team leader of my technology team, I made sure that all of them felt at home. I tried to bond on a personal level as well, asking them about their backgrounds and inquiring about their personal family and all that, which made them feel a part of the team. This being said, we had a lot of time to practice, but we had impediments too. We had people who promised to turn up and never turned up. We had the Ramzan holidays that came in between our dry runs, and that was a stretch which was a dry patch. Nobody turned up for dry runs, and it did give me a lot of sleepless nights, let me tell you. But at the end, as a team, we pulled through the whole event without glitches, and I'm proud to tell you that we did not have any technical glitches whatsoever during the 3-day or long event. It started on Thursday and it ended on Saturday night. It was almost very hectic. I was in front of my PC and my team was totally with me. And we somehow managed to pull through without major technical glitches. We gave a free and fair ground to all the participants and contestants so that they could perform their best. And there were no glitches whatsoever, no Zoom bombings, which we were fearing will happen. And I'm so proud to say that as part of this vice chair technology role, I have grown as a leader. I'm confident enough to tell you that I'm seeing myself as a great leader in future, and I have a role coming up next year as the Area 53 director. I think this has prepared me for that challenge. So team is something that needs to be cohesive. They need to understand each other. Only then teamwork happens. So once again, before I conclude, let's tell that people with great purpose and passion can make the impossible happen, like we did at technology team in CITAC 2020. Thank you so much, and over to the Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vijitha Murali, for that wonderful delivery. Our last speaker today is Toastmaster Mohammad Irshad. He is delivering his level 4 collective projects, manage projects successfully, second speech, and his evaluator is Toastmaster Meera Nambiar. Toastmaster Meera Nambiar, can you please acknowledge your presence and specify the speech objectives?
Thank you, Toastmaster. Good evening again. Toastmaster Mohammad Irshad is attempting his level 4 elective, manage projects successfully, second speech. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice developing a plan, building a team, and fulfilling the plan with the help of his or her team. The purpose of the second speech is for the member to give a short overview of the plan for his project. The title of Mohammad Irshad's speech is Hard Work Pays Off. All the best, Toastmaster Mohammad Irshad. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Meera Nambiar. Toastmaster Mohammad Irshad is a passionate Toastmaster. He loves to tell stories. He was the past VP membership of our club. He is the present VP Education of Al Awal Toastmasters Club and the club coach of Jubail Malayalam Toastmasters Club. He is a sincere Toastmaster who has made his presence felt on many fora. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Mohammad Irshad. Title of his speech is Hard Work Pays Off. Hard Work Pays Off by Toastmaster Muhammad Irshad. Over to you.
There is no shortcut for success. So preparation, plan, practice, etc. are only a tool which will help you to save the time to complete the project so quick. Whereas that won't help to skip the hard work, which is mandatory for any kind of success. Toastmaster today, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, a warm good evening to all of you. I have explained in details about the plan and operational preparation for the project through my previous speech. This speech will explain the continuation of that project plus the experience gained from that project. Hope you all remember that project. What I'm talking about is that is table topic Contest Master project of DLC 2022, which was conducted in 25 March 2022. As explained, the script edited based on the revised plan and based on the latest update details. Many dry runs conducted and practiced very well. Because of online meeting, I have arranged two separate systems in case if any kind of troubles happen, we have to use anyone. Even after preparing so many plans and practices, we have arranged one backup plan also to avoid any kind of impediment. We have arranged one backup which is with very full equipment basically. During the practice session, there was a very interesting thing happened. One of the TT contest operation team member is a mentor basically. He came and advised to change some area of the script. So I have changed based on his advice and practiced in front of him. I feel that changes were really attractive and it was good. Whereas the next day, another contest operation member, a second mentor came and told me to change almost same area, same points again. So I did not disclose what exactly happened the previous day. I changed based on the new mentor's advices. But those lines were also very beautiful and very good. So I was impressed with that. But the third day, another contest operation member came. He was also a mentor. But I did not disclose what exactly happened the previous day. But I did not tell anything about the points. Maybe he may also advise any changes. You know why this happened? Because every mentor is good and experienced in their own perception and standard and quality. Through this, I understand that one thing I should ask only one mentor. If I discuss with other mentor, it may confuse and will have a problem which we cannot follow that. But one mentor is enough to change one particular subject. So all kind of preparation were over. I was ready with everything. And as a qualified and experienced table topic contest master, the day has come. The great program happened. All the programs are happening one by one. And I could attend my TT contest also in a very successful manner without any kind of impediment. I could complete the project in a perfect way. Believe me, without any kind of tension or anxiety, I could perfectly run the show, and that was a perfect example for a planned project, a successfully completed project. Everyone, including the operation team, were really happy and appreciated the effort taken to complete the project successfully. That project, table topic contest master project of DLC 22, were given a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge for me to take home. Let me share some are the very important thing what I learned, the importance of setting a qualified team for any project. Daily or frequently communicating with the team for molding or making perfection of the project. To avoid any kind of loopholes, any kind of problems, continuous communication really helped. How to plan and prepare a project much in advance. The importance of preparing and strictly following a schedule and following those schedule without any kind of objections, any kind of problems. The importance of preparing a plan, schedule, all those cases in much in advance. Give much and enough importance for the practices. Basically, here we have done the dry runs. Importance of consulting, like the concerns with the mentors and correct and update the required area. Importance of giving enough time for the preparation plans. These lessons, what I have learned from these mentors of DLC 2022 team will definitely helpful for any kind of project. Maybe I may take in future. I had participated or conducted or come across with many projects, even in my company, even in our home, in the public areas or many places. But why I have chosen this very small subject as a main project for me, because this has given a lot of value added things for me to follow, to learn. Basically, a project could handle with a proper plan, with full entertainment, without losing the spirit of professionalism. Moreover, slow but steady, but worked hard, so finally that become a successful one. In future, any kind of project in my life, I definitely implement these points I learned from this project. As I told you in the very beginning, there is no shortcut for success. This DLC TT Contest Master role helped me to take further many such contest operation masters roles. I could handle it, but the base is from this, basically. The preparation plans and practice or anything that is only a tool, but a hard work behind this really helped a lot to get a 100% successful. You must 100% believe that proper plan with a hard work definitely will pay you back. Over to J.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mohammad Irshad, for that amazing speech. By this, we end our prepared speech session. So, Toastmaster Sai Kishore, can you please mention the time taken by each contestant?
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster Ramesh Nambiar took 7 minutes 50 seconds. Toastmaster Jyoti Warrior took 22 minutes 30 seconds. Toastmaster Vijita Murali took 6 minutes 51 seconds. And Toastmaster Mohammad Irshad took 6 minutes 53 seconds. Except Toastmaster Ramesh Nambiar, all the 3 speakers are qualified. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sai Kishore. So our 3 speakers are qualified. So I would like to request vote counter Toastmaster Jyoti Bala to kindly launch the polls. Toastmaster Jyoti Bala.
I think everybody has answered the poll. I will close the poll.
Okay. So can we continue?
Yes, ma'am. You can go ahead.
Now we enter in the final stage of today's edutainment session. Measurement and analysis are pivotal for improvement. To take us through the feedback session, we have an aspiring writer, an advocate for positivity and a one yourself who believes in the reality of choices and who often have conversation with herself so that she doesn't get lost. Yes, our general evaluator today is Toastmaster Gauri Vaidya, who hopes to make a difference in the world, even though it's a small one. She believes in butterfly effect in life and self-love. Toastmaster Gauri Vaidya, we are keen to hear from you and your team for further improvement. Over to you, Toastmaster Gauri Vaidya.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, for that wonderful introduction. I would like to start off by giving a disclaimer that if I take a second to burp, please forgive me. I did just have dinner. I'm so sorry I did that. But it is really late here and I'm a college student, so forgive me. But moving on to the evaluation session. Man is not only measured by his capabilities, but also by his ability to change and adapt. Toastmasters is a platform where a speaker is not only praised for the masterful execution, but where he or she is also given valuable advice on factors of improvement to enhance his or her words and its impact. And our excellent array of speakers today surely deserve nothing but the best evaluators from my admirable list of evaluators for the day. So without further ado, to evaluate level 4, project 1, speech of Toastmaster Rameshan Nambiar, we have with us today Toastmaster Nilofer Rashid. She is the supervisor at International Indian School, Al Jubail, a research scholar whose area of interest is Indian writing in English, which is also something I aspire to be a scholar in, published numerous papers in national and international journals, is a member of the Research India Foundation, LTI, conducted more than 25 workshops and webinars till now, is an active member of NISA, Utkalika Toastmaster Club, and became first runner-up in international speech in DLC 2020 and winner of TT and second runner-up in evaluation in DLC 2021. Completed both Pathways and Speechcraft program. Her mantra for life is be yourself, give your best, and keep cordial, kind, and sympathetic approach towards others. I have heard her many a times before, and she never ceases to have me completely focused on every word she speaks. A Toastmaster par excellence and a woman to be inspired by for a young'un like me. Toastmaster Nilofer, over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Gauri Warrior, for giving such a nice and wonderful introduction of mine. The meaning of life is to give life a meaning. Congratulations, Toastmaster Rameshan Nambiar, on completing your level 4 project 1, Manage a Change. And I must say that you have managed it so well. You excelled at some of the very good points which I liked, and I'm just going to point out here. In describing fully the plan at the industry, you have managed well and you have described it, you have elaborated it nicely. You described well adaptive, that is the shorter, and transformational, that is the larger period of life. For me as an individual and for me as a Toastmaster, you had shown a little different world to me because I was not knowing what is happening inside the industry, especially related to the engineering part. Being a student of English language, completely different I am. So you have opened the window for me and I just pepped through and I learned a lot today. The business case which you have presented, the way you have submitted to the big boss, and afterwards we all came to know that this change was so inevitable and so evident because every individual is going to face some change in his or her life. So the same way you also faced in your professional life, and you have managed well in putting up this experience of yours in your level 4 project 1. You are, of course, a true leader, sir. And I must say that those who worked under your guidance must be fortunate one, because such a senior an experienced person, if someone is getting guidance, really, I just feel that the person who is getting the guidance, the mentee, is, of course, the fortunate enough. Every speech is having some room to improvement. So some of the impediments which stopping your speech to be a flawless one, I just, with humble recommendation, I just want to give. I miss a good PPT. The moment you have started and the moment you just created the industry plan and all that, I was missing the PPT. I was just expecting that you are going to open up with the good PPT so that we will absorb something. Then you sat on the chair and you delivered your speech. I was expecting, I just wanted to see, sir, you enjoying your hands and doing all the gestures and describing us that how and what thing is happening inside the industry. to encapsulate it. And one more thing, sir, the tone was same throughout the speech. I was expecting that, yes, you are going to rise your speech, or you are going to low down in your speech. So that was also missing. To encapsulate it well, the change is evident and positive, and we absorbed it fully. And you are a true leader, sir. Thank you. Over to Gauri Warrior.
Wow, I've not been called Gauri Warrior, so thank you. That filled me with so much pride. Thank you, ma'am, for that wonderful evaluation. Now, next evaluator for the day, evaluating level 5 project 1 speech of Madam Toastmaster Jyoti Warrior is D.T. Murali Krishnan. He told me to keep his formal introduction short, so I'm going to keep it to this much. He is Mind Academy's biggest asset. That's it. But you know what I remember him for the most? His ability to effortlessly hold our attention with every word he speaks, and his conviction to bring forth a platform as positive as Mind Academy. D.T. Murali Krishnan, who is evaluating the speech of Toastmaster Jyoti Warrior. Sir, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, for that very positive and inspiring words. Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guest, and Toastmaster Jyoti Jain Warrior in particular. Good evening. Your last days are as important as your entire life journey. What a profound message, Madam Toastmaster Jyoti Jain Warrior. Indeed, a profound message. And I must say that, the topic that you have taken today, I don't think anybody would dare even to take this kind of subject, not even in my wildest dream. When you said, preparing for the inevitable, we have heard many inevitable things in life, but we never expected that you are going to talk about death. I never expected this in my wildest dream, that this is what inevitable that you are going to speak about today. You had a great opening with respect to the LIC agents. I am sure that each and everyone sitting here would have faced those agents talking about sum assured and different kind of things that helped you to connect with the audience. And what I liked in the opening of your speech is the way you involved people with the chat message, asking, what is sure to happen in your life. And you actually followed, made us write what you want, and then we all fell into your slot, and then from there onwards you were like, you only told that this is what's going to be inevitable in your life, and that made your that helped you to lay a solid foundation to take us for a ride with the topic that you want to speak. A great speech, and throughout this your speech you kept a very low tone, which was very much required for the speech. And three stories or three incidents or events that you brought to us, one about Raju, then Kannan, and the pregnant lady, those were indeed touching. I could see people going to a very low note, and I was even observing people's eyes. Even you yourself was emotionally connected to the subject when you talked about it. That showed how genuine you were involved in that. Normally in speech, we say that, talk about your story, talk about your experience. And we could very much feel how involved you were in the subject. And when you said about, about the father, he pressed himself against the wall and the breeze hitting his face, those things when you said, normally we say that, those vivid explanation helped to convey the message. But I would say that we really felt what was happening there. That was the message. We really felt what was going through that, and we all were like the voice modulation that you had. You kept a very low voice tone, and probably the whole room. I can say it as a room, even though it is online. The whole room was radiating that kind of emotion throughout, and we all knew that it's an inevitable subject. And as they say, right from your birth, you are straight away walking towards the grave, and that's the only reality that we are facing. And I'm so happy that you brought this subject here, which rarely people will bring forward. But all said and done, we have things to improve. And a couple of suggestions from my end for you is, one, like being a presentation, it's like presenting yourself. I would say that you could have a remote controller which can change the slides. You were leaning towards the friend in the beginning, which actually was kind of a distraction. So if you had a remote control or something, you could have easily changed the slides. You could have added more slides with the photographs and all. That would have added more to the tone which you were able to set, pictures of, those kind of things, where whether it is statistics or whatever you want to bring, that could have helped you to convey the message. But all said and done, I would also agree with your husband, Mr. Jain Warrior, for bringing this topic. If at all you want to talk this subject, I would say that, I've seen Father David Cheremale speaking about such kind of subject in a very humorous way. And every sentence that he was uttering, and we still remember, when he was telling people sitting outside the ICU and from inside the nurse coming and asking for that tender coconut, we still remember those subjects. I would say that if this was done in a way that reflects what you want to convey, but at the same time will elevate the mood so that people will relate to what you want to speak, at the same time will take away the message, and it would not have been such a low note. Since you are handling a very, very heavy subject, that would have transformed it into a different way. That is purely my suggestion. Okay, I enjoy, and this is indeed a topic which needs to be discussed. I'm sure that there is a taboo that we don't discuss this. Even as you said, we don't convey to the patient himself or herself that this is what's going to happen. We definitely need to discuss, but I would say that when we discuss it in a lighter note so that it becomes a happy moment for all of us, even though we are talking a very in-depth subject. So with that note, I thoroughly enjoyed. I salutes to you for bringing in this subject to make a change in the taboo subject that we have in the society. Wishing you all the very best, and back to you, General Evaluator.
I like how everybody's almost calling me my name more than General Evaluator. Just so shows how iconic I am, right, guys? But thank you, DTM Murli, for, as always, giving a beautiful evaluation. I'm sure Toastmaster Jyoti will be taking all of that into consideration. Next up, we have Level 5 Project 1 speech of Toastmaster Vijitha Murli, which is going to be evaluated by DTM Biju CR. Now, DTM Biju is working as project manager and head of mechanical division in Canoes. He is a club sponsor of Mind Academy Toastmasters Club, a passionate Toastmaster who served as president of Periyar Toastmasters Club, area director, and many such roles in ZATAC. He was a winner of humorous and evaluation contests in area and division level. And he truly believes that there is something to be learned from everyone and every situation in life. But more than that, he is a very sweet man. I've known him for a long time in my life, in my personal life, and he is approachable at any time. DTM Biju CR, who has joined us today to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Vijitha Murli. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, General Evaluator, for the elevated introduction. Madam General Evaluator, dear Toastmasters of Mind Academy Toastmasters Club, Cavaliers and guests, warm good evening to all. Especially Toastmaster Vijitha Murli. You met all the objectives as a speaker, and the purpose of this, the 3 P's, that is purpose, people, and passion. And you come with the 3 P's, and we received as an audience with the 3 C. That is, you are very clear, you are crisp, and you are concise. Hearty congratulations. And your speech was narrative and informative. And as a speaker, I would love to listen to your speech because you are very confident in speaking, very pleasant, and very good diction, very free flow of words, and smooth transition in narrating the event, and very stylish presentation. Hearty congratulations. And I got impressed with the speech with the 3 reasons. This is a realistic, it was a real life experience, and it was familiar to everyone. Perfectly met all speech objectives. As an audience, I received the information about your team building plan, process, and the way of execution during your role as the Vice Chair Technology Committee for ZATAC 2022. Well-structured speech, well-organized and well-delivered. Mentioned about your mentor, explained about most importantly, you explained the impediments faced during the journey of team building. And for every speech, there is a next level and there is a scope of improvement. I would like to give 2 recommendations. One is you should at least try to start practicing some humor in the speech that will elevate your speech to the further level. And secondly, I felt always in the low pitch or low volume as a speaker, you can vary this pitch of your speech on the volume that will better connect to the audience throughout the speech. Your strength as a free and fluent speaker with your confidence and good diction. With improving these points, you can further elevate it to next level as a speaker or champion speaker in the future. Back to Madam General Veller.
Thank you, sir, for that exceptional evaluation. You were also very, you passed the 3 C's. I remember concise, clear, and the third one I'm forgetting, but you had it. I'm sure of it. Thank you, sir.
Clear, crisp, and concise.
Thank you, sir. Clear, crisp, and concise. You were very clear, crisp, and concise. Moving on to our final evaluator, evaluating level 4 manage project successfully speech of Toastmaster Muhammad Irshad. We have someone who's taking another role today. So she's already been introduced technically. So I won't use that introduction, ma'am. I wrote something specially for you. She's not a stranger to anyone here at all, and especially not to our own Jasmine team at Mind Academy Toastmasters Club. Our current VP Education, a woman with a beautiful soul and even more of a beautiful way with words, with vocabulary that could adorn the phrase, "The pen is mightier than the sword." Here we have Toastmaster Meera Nambiar evaluating the speech of Toastmaster Muhammad Irshad. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, dear, for that very special introduction. Good evening again, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and Toastmaster Irshad in particular. Operation keeps the lights on. Strategy provides a light at the end of a tunnel, but project management is a train engine that moves you forward. There is no shortcut to success. That was a great intro to start with, Toastmaster Irshad. Your speech was crisp, confident, with good eye contact, and the word of the day was used very effectively. You talked about the planning process and you added humor based on the suggestion of the evaluator in your first speech, to your speech when you rightly talked about how mentors could be impediments. Kudos, Toastmaster Irshad. Your explanation about the choice of the project and what you intended to accomplish was well articulated. And you also enumerated why this project was important to you and why you chose to speak on this particular project rather than the other projects in your lifeline. Overall, a very good speech based on the value the project added to you. But the project, I felt, was more of a solo effort. I could not see you building a team, which was a part of your objective. That part of the objective I felt was a bit diluted. I believe that you could have taken a project which had more deliverables, more roles, and more stakeholders. That said, I believe that I could fathom the emotional connect you had to this project and the role it added to your Toastmaster journey. All the best, Toastmaster Irshad, in your future projects. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, ma'am, for that wonderful evaluation. Again, Toastmaster Muhammad Irshad is going to be very much, beneficial of that evaluation. Again, I would like to thank all the evaluators, distinguished evaluators who have joined us today for all your feedbacks and suggestions. Round of applause for them. Now, moving on, we have the timers report. May I please have the timers report from Toastmaster Sai?
Thank you. Toastmaster Nilofer Rashid took 3 minutes, 10 seconds. DTM Murali Krishnan took 5 minutes, 20 seconds. DTM Biju CR took 2 minutes, 40 seconds. TM Meera, Toastmaster Meera Nambiar took 2 minutes. Except DTM Murali Krishnan, all are qualified. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sai, for the timers report. Now, the second report of the day. grammarian and word master report. May invite everybody cast your votes first. I always forget one aspect of the timers or vote counters role, you know, just how I work. But moving on, we have the grammarian and word master report by none other than, again, our VP Education, Toastmaster, Madam Toastmaster Meera. Over to you, ma'am. No introduction needed here again.
Thank you again, General Evaluator. The word of the day was impediment. I didn't see many of you using the word. Maybe there was an impediment to this word usage. But in fact, I felt that all the speakers talked about impediments in their speeches. So do use the word when you want to make an effect, when you feel that using obstacle or hurdle may sound commonplace. Use impediment for a difference. There were some good usages, which I will just sort of roll as I heard. Moment of pride, share stage with the best of the best, push out of your comfort zone. Challenges are which makes our life more interesting. Every obstacle unveils an opportunity. Devil at soul, aligning the change. Nothing remains the same, and at some point, everything changes. Plan for the most important journey in your life. Breeze hit his face. Live a dignified life and die a dignified death. Conversation on death is taboo. Autonomy is a right to choose, refuse, or regulate one's own treatment. Your last stage is as important as your entry into your life's journey. Let's make the world a better place to live and a better place to die. People with great purpose and passion can make the impossible happen. Many respond differently to requests. Team needs to be cohesive. Only then teamwork happens. Clear, crisp, and concise. Well, that's some of the good usages I heard. I did hear some misuse of the language, but I feel that that was made during the flow of the speeches, so I wouldn't really want to mention that. There's a good day today with good speeches, good evaluations, and the TMOD and the GE giving out good inspiring messages to us. All the best to all of you, and thank you for the opportunity, which landed on my table today with 2 roles. Over to you, GE.
I can't thank you enough, ma'am. I'll come to why I have to thank her more than necessary. Both of you, Madam Toastmaster Vijita and Madam Toastmaster Meera. But here is the General Evaluators report. I'd like to first start. Hopefully this doesn't go on for too long, okay? I'll try my best. But I'd first like to congratulate the entire team for the successful conduct of another meeting at Mind Academy Toastmasters Club. Next, I'd like to talk about the behind the scenes, which happened. The commendable aspect of behind the scenes was the team really sticks it through everything thrown at them. We had a few impediments. I was going to use it in my report, in my defense. That I was waiting for this, ma'am. But yes, we had a few things thrown at us, but we really stuck it through. And like I said, this is where I want to thank our president and VP Education. They really will support you throughout. I found it very hard as an evaluator today. Not only were people busy because we have a life, but everybody had other commitments, and I was asking multiple people outside the club also to join in as the evaluator today. And the president and VP Education had really pulled through, helping me. Thank you, ma'am, ma'ams. And the aspect to improve is the one I talked about before. It's also for me because I had a speech last week and last meeting and I didn't do it. It is that we need to try our maximum and stick to commitments. We have, like I said, even though we have a life, we have to look at it this way too. This is also a part of an improvement in our life. So try your best to stick to the commitments as much as possible. As the general evaluator, I can also maybe do that from the future meetings. Meeting-wise, the commendable aspect, I think, is that we had exceptional speeches today. And because even if with all the things that was happening in the background before the meeting, during the meeting, it was very smooth, the flow of the meeting. Everybody did their roles really well. Congratulations, Toastmaster Shahira, for being an excellent TMOD. Congratulations to all the assignees for the day. You all did your roles exceptionally well. And another thing I have to be I have to commend this team about, as in this meeting, is timing. We are actually pretty good with timing today, guys. We finally did it. We're not that behind. Sure, we could improve, but improving is a step-by-step process. So the next meeting we'll be on time, more on time. So it started at 6:16 p.m. and it's still going on at 10:30. Here it's 10:33, so it's still going on 10:03 by 8:03, but it's okay. We've not a monumental need for improvement. It's something we will get better at. And about the speeches, Toastmaster Ramesh Nambiar, I wish I had you as a professor, sir, because I am sure you would have made any subject extremely informative and somehow also interesting. I would have listened to you all day long. Then Toastmaster Jyoti Warrior, I recently watched a movie called A Ghost Story. And that movie, I feel like, could go exceptionally well with your speech today. It's about a man coming back to his house after his death and realizing everything is just going away, it's just withering away and only he's left in that place. Your ability to pull at our heartstrings with mere words is truly a wonder to behold. Toastmaster Vijita Murli, your experiences as an introverted social queen through your words never fails to inspire the ambivert in me to do better and aim for the best. Toastmaster Irshad, technicalities of a speech really shines through when you speak, and your ability to handle all that you go through or happens in your stories, in your life, is really commendable, sir. Toastmaster Meera Nambiar, as the evaluator, I decided to do a little general grammarian role for you. The quote in the beginning and your usage, kudos, exceptional. Diluted, stakeholders, pattern, words that I feel like we should write down in our dictionaries, from where we get Meera Nambiar, our word master, forever, I think. So that's all from me as the general evaluator. Again, thank you for this opportunity to the team today and to the president and DP Education. That's all from me. Over to you, Timur.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gauri Vaidya, for conducting the session in an informative manner. And I'm sure that all the speakers and the assignees shall be benefited out of this. Now it's time to disclose the results. So I would like to request our vote counter, Toastmaster Jyoti Bala, to disclose today's poll secrets by announcing the results and present the virtual certificates. Toastmaster Jyoti Bala.
Ma'am, can I have the host?
I already.
Okay.
I want to put lipstick on my lipstick.
The best speaker award goes to Toastmaster Vijita Murli. Congratulations, ma'am. And the best evaluators award goes to Toastmaster Meera Nambiar, ma'am. Congratulations to all the winners. Over to you, Toastmaster Steve.
Congratulations to all the winners and participants. Thank you, Toastmaster Jyoti Bala. With that, we come to the end of today's edutainment session. And I really appreciate all the assignees for conducting today's session in a seamless manner. And I really enjoyed the role of Toastmaster of the evening. I'm not sure about to what extent, I'm not sure. Even then, I think I tried to manage. So, fellow Toastmasters and guests, when obstacles come your way, change your perception of obstacles and look for opportunities. As the obstacles do not block your path, they are our path. I would like to express my gratitude to Madam President, Toastmaster Vijita, and Toastmaster Balasubramaniam, my mentor, and VP Education, Toastmaster Meera Nambiar, for the continuous support and guidance, and also for providing me the opportunity of being the Toastmaster of the evening. I also would like to thank all my fellow Toastmasters Thank you all. Over to you, President.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Shaida Srihanavas. Dear audience, don't you all agree that our Toastmaster of the Day did a perfect job as the Toastmaster of the Day, introducing the assignees and speakers in such a beautiful fashion. She's doing it for the first time, you know. It calls for a loud round of applause, I must say. Thank you so much, ma'am. You did it with perfection. In
Thank
fact,
you, ma'am.
so many last minute changes we had. We had, unavoidable circumstances that a few of our assignees had to back out. So she managed everything. Even in the last moment, I had changes for her, but she took it all in that spirit and did a great job as the Toastmaster of the Day. Thank you so much, ma'am, once again, for conducting that meeting with such professionalism. Now, we have come to the business session. After that educational session, which was such an entertaining session, I must say, the topics that the speakers touched, everything, every speaker had something to offer to us, you know, message that we will take home with us today. Thank you so much to all the speakers and assignees for giving us this memorable learning session. Now, let me take this opportunity to thank our guest evaluators who have joined us today to evaluate our speakers and also share their knowledge with all of us. So let me now share the screen. I hope it's visible to you. We have our guest evaluator, Toastmaster Nilofer Rashid. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your efforts in grooming our new speakers. She is a soon-to-be DTM, and we are waiting to see you as a distinguished Toastmaster very soon, ma'am. Thank you so much for your efforts. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your time and efforts to help our club as the evaluator tonight. We had our club sponsor, DTM Biju CR, who was with us for the evaluation session also, though he has left early. He had some other commitment. We thank him again for his presence and guidance in motivating our speakers as usual. Thank you so much, Toastmaster DTM Biju CR, sir. Now we have a lot of guests amongst us. Let me take this opportunity to invite a very special guest. He has joined us all the way from Kerala. So let's hear from Mr. Ranjit. Your words about how you enjoyed the meeting, your feelings about how the community of Toastmasters is. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. In fact, it was very entertaining, and the way the session was handled and the way the speeches were presented and evaluated was outstanding. I consider this as a privilege to be part of this meeting, and the vocabulary and the way things were presented, everything was outstanding. So I'm actually a part of Alleppey Toastmasters, where we are in a budding stage. So I think these experiences will help me also to shape up to become a better Toastmaster. I was also I was attending many meetings as a guest, in fact, in the beginning, and recently only I joined Toastmasters, and I have selected the pathways, but still I have to identify a mentor and start doing things. So definitely this is a motivation and inspiration for me to go further. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspirational words. We are all touched, and we are honored to have you amongst us as a guest today, sir. I hope you had a great meeting, and I hope to see you in our future sessions as well. Sir. Thank you so much for being with us. Now let me invite Toastmaster Nilofer Rashid, a very kind-hearted person, always ready to help anyone who approaches her. Ma'am, it would be our pleasure to hear from you. Toastmaster Nilofer, are you with us?
Yes, dear. Yeah.
Over to you, ma'am.
I have to speak something related to?
Yes, ma'am. We would love to hear from
Um, yes, dear, about myself.
No, about your experience at Mind Academy today.
Okay. It was an excellent one. And this is not the first time I attended. Earlier also I have attended, and it's just like a second home or second club for me. And whenever I attended this thing, I just got this feeling to be a very special one, because Vijita has made me, has given me that experience which I can't express in words. Today also, when she told me in the morning itself, so I was just preparing for the school to go, and then on the way I just told that okay, I will manage. I just asked her the time, and I said that okay, once coming home I am just going to manage it up. So somehow I managed, and I'm looking forward to do and to attend more meetings like this, and that's it. Thank you so much for giving me chance. It was wonderful experience.
So much. Indeed, our pleasure to have you with us. Even though it was at the last moment that one of our evaluators backed out, our Madam Toastmaster Nulofa was very kind enough to join us today. Thank you, ma'am. It is indeed our
my pleasure always.
Our honor and pleasure to have you, ma'am. Thank you so much. We would love to hear from more of our guests. Anybody wants to volunteer? Subhashini, Geera, anybody wants to share your experience with Mind Academy? Okay, let's move ahead. Oh yes, Subhashini has unmuted herself. I think she's ready to express herself. Yes, Subhashini,
ma'am.
over to you. We'd love to hear.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you're audible, Subhashini. Please.
Yeah, it's very engaged. Today's session, it's very engaged and informative section for me. I really enjoyed and I learned a lot from today's session. And thank you for inviting me in the session. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Subhashini. For your information, Subhashini is one of our speech crafters who is doing the program under me and Bala, Toastmaster Bala. Geera, would you like to share your experience?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening to Mind Academy Toastmaster, fellow guest, and all speech crafters like guest and all the motivators in this Mind Academy actually, because I got motivated every time when I attend. I really think to attend more and more such meetings, but due to some time management and due to some household activities and all, sometimes I don't get chance to participate that much actively. But I thoroughly enjoyed. I listened to the speech of Jyoti ma'am, Irshad sir, everyone, and it was very nice. About that, Jyoti ma'am really that inspired us that we should always plan our date, and that is very much important because it is inevitable. That she said now that was very nice actually. New information and very inspiring. Thank you so much, everyone. For and actually speech crafting program is also very helpful to the speech crafters like us to learn a lot things to how to craft the speech and present yourself, your thoughts in chronicle manner. That I learned a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Geera Rawal, for expressing your words with all of us. Indeed, we are fortunate to have you amongst us as a guest today, and we are looking forward to have you as a promising Toastmaster in our club very soon after you finish the speech program. Thank you so much, Mrs. Geera. Now it's time to make a very important announcement. I had earlier mentioned in our WhatsApp group that we have a nomination committee in place. They are going to help us elect the new leaders who will be taking care of our club, who will be leading our club in the next term, 2022-2023. So to inform you further about the proceedings that are going to happen, let me take this opportunity to invite our club sponsor, DTM, Murli Krishnan. He is a member of the nomination committee, which is headed by Toastmaster Bala, but unfortunately, Toastmaster Bala is in his night shift. So he is at office, and in his place, we have DTM Murli Krishnan, who will be announcing the details of the nomination committee and how we'll be going about the election to elect our new team of leaders. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Madam President, for the opportunity. Madam President, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Before I go to the nomination business, I'm so happy today that, as we say, it's all about vibe, it's all about ambience, it's all about atmosphere, it's all about the energy that we radiate. And guest over here, inspiringly coming forward to speak to all of us, speaks volumes about the energy, about the aura, about the ambience that we have created. Kudos to the Jasmine Exicom, who have done a fantabulous job this year. And you have maintained, first year when we had Bala at the helm of affairs, taking this club right up to the SATAC with 2 members, and this committee going to SATAC with 5 members, moving one notch higher, speaks volumes about how our club has grown in a continual manner. And as they say, there is nothing permanent except change, which holds true to our club as well as our Exicom. And with that note, we need new leaders. We need new set of leaders. And I'm sure that in the presidential address right in the beginning, our Madam President rightly mentioned that it's all about coming forward and taking that opportunity, coming forward and challenging that challenge in front of you. And that's what's going to transform yourself. It's not about, about the end result. Our life is a transformation. The more challenges you take, the more you are ready to come out of your comfort zone, the more transformation that it brings to you. About the prices, about the numbers, about the KPIs, about winning, losing, and all those things, these are just byproduct. Just jump in, everybody will be there, and we will together